السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. إن الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله محمد بن عبد الله وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن اهتدى بهداه. Welcome to an episode of Drops of Tafseer, brought to you by ITV. What are the objectives of these series? The objectives of these series is that we need to realize that Allah Azza wa Jal has sent down this Quran not only for recitation. He has sent this Quran down so we can ponder upon its meanings. We are going to initiate some episodes that are going to go over the verses of Allah Azza wa Jal so we can ponder upon these verses, and it takes us closer to Allah Azza wa Jal. In today's episode, we will be discussing about a verse in the Quran in Surah Maryam. Allah Azza wa Jal says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب السماوات والأرض وما بينهما فاعبده واصطبر لعبادته هل تعلم له سميا. Allah Azza wa Jal mentions in the Quran that He is the Lord of the skies and the earth and whatever is in between them. So worship the Lord and be patient in His worship. Have you seen any equals to Allah Azza wa Jal? In this verse, we need to understand what is the definition of the word Rabb. What is Rabb? What qualifies a being as a Rabb? A Rabb is the one who owns everything. He gives life, He gives death. He gives sustenance from the skies and from the skies. What is a Rabb? A Rabb is the one who gives life and death. What is the definition of the word Rabb? The word Rabb is the one who gives life and death, the one who provides from the heavens, the one that gives benefit and afflicts calamities. And Allah Azza wa Jal says, رَبُّ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَمَا بَيْنَهُمَا فَاعْبُدْهُ وَاصْطَبِرْ لِعِبَادَتِهِ. Now, what are the characteristics of the word Rabb? What qualifies the being Allah of being the Rabb of the universes? The one who owns everything, the kingdom of the heavens and earth, the one who created and fashioned everything, the one who gives life, the one who gives death, the one who gives and takes away, the one who plans the affairs, the one who created everything and provides rizq, sustenance, and has power over all things. And the one who has power over all things. So here are some points from this verse. Allah Azza wa Jalla is saying, رَبُّ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَمَا بَيْنَهُمَا فَاعْبُدْهُ وَاصْطَبِرْ لِعِبَادَتِهِ. That Allah Azza wa Jalla is the Rabb, the one who deals with the affairs of the skies. He's the owner, and He takes care of the affairs in the skies and the earth and whatever is in between. فَاعْبُدْهُ وَاصْطَبِرْ لِعِبَادَتِهِ. So be patient in His worship. Why should we be patient in Allah Azza wa Jal's worship? Because Allah Azza wa Jal, when He takes care of the affairs of the heavens and earth, we sleep. And Allah says, لَا تَأْخُذُهُ سِنَةٌ وَلَا نَوْمٌ. That slumber does not befall Allah Azza wa Jal. Allah Azza wa Jal mentions in Surah Fatir that the sun and the moon are running in its orbit, and the stars are running in its orbit, and it's not going to derail from its. Allah establishes gravity in the Quran, that the sun and the moon are running in its orbit, the stars are running in its orbit. So then Allah Azza wa Jal says that He is the Rabb of the skies and the earth. In Surah Fatir, He mentions that He prevents the skies and the earth from derailing from its orbit. He establishes gravity. While mankind sleeps, Allah Azza wa Jal does not sleep. He mentions in Surah Baqarah that لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم, that drowsiness and sleeping does not overpower Allah Azza wa Jal. He establishes weakness for His creation, and He establishes might for Himself. The disbelievers in the past, they believed that there were different lords. There were lords for death. There were lords for crops. There were lords for rain. And in Surah Dukhan, Allah Azza wa Jal says, رَبُّكُمْ وَرَبُّ آبَائِكُمُ الْأَوَّلِينَ, that I was your Lord and the Lord of your forefathers. Not was I only your Lord, I was the Lord of your forefathers as well. And there is no lords besides Allah Azza wa Jal. There is only one true Rabb, that is Allah Azza wa Jal. Allah Azza wa Jal, He did favors for us. He gave us things that we were not able to create for ourselves, such as the oxygen that we breathe. We are not able to create it for ourselves. Allah Azza wa Jal, He gives us water to drink, food to eat, things that we cannot make for ourselves. These things only come from Allah Azza wa Jal. And He gave us these favors. He has done these favors for us before He has commanded us to pray. Even before the age of puberty, Allah has given us all these bounties. So Allah Azza wa Jal, because He did all these favors for us, Allah says, فَاعْبُدُهُ وَاصْطَبِرْ لِعِبَادِهِ. Because I did all these favors for you, so worship Allah Azza wa Jal only. وَاصْطَبِرْ لِعِبَادَتِهِ. And be patient in His worship. How should we be patient in His worship? What does that mean? That means that when Allah Azza wa Jal commands us to do something, it might be a burden on us. That's why we call it ahkamut taklif. Like for example, it's 5 a.m., it's really cold out, and it's time for Fajr. And it's difficult for us to exit the bed and wash our faces, wash our arms, wash our feet in that cold weather and pray. And it's the month of Ramadan. It's very cold outside. No, it's the month of Ramadan. It's very hot outside. And we're very thirsty. And we need to drink water. But we are preventing ourselves from drinking water. Why? Because Allah said so. It's the command of Allah. It is from the ahkam al-taklif. From those things that which are made a burden upon us. Ibadat. Then Allah Azza wa Jal, He not only commands us to do things which are difficult upon us, He also commands us to not, He also prohibits us from doing things which we are already doing, the sins that we're committing. Allah Azza wa Jal is prohibiting us from doing those acts. For example, you know you're lying, you know you're backbiting, you know all these things. We're already doing it. But Allah Azza wa Jal, He prohibits us from doing these acts. So doing these acts is very difficult upon us. Carrying out these, executing the ita'atu amrillah, following Allah Azza wa Jal, and ijtinab an nawahi, and staying away from those things that which He has commanded us to not do, is very difficult upon us. So the road to Allah Azza wa Jal, is not easy. It takes perseverance. It takes hard work. To get to Allah Azza wa Jal, you're not going to get there very easily. You're going to have to be patient in the ibadah, in the worship of Allah Azza wa Jal. فَاعْبُدُهُ وَاصْطَبِرْ لِعِبَادَتِهِ. And be patient, very patient in His worship. هَلْ تَعْلَمُ لَهُ سَمِيًّا. Do you know any equals to Allah Azza wa Jal? Do you know anyone perfect as Allah Azza wa Jal? No deficiencies at all. No flawless. Any being that is merciful like Him. Any being that is loving like Allah Azza wa Jal. Doesn't the all-perfect and flawless Lord, the one who created you and gave you all that you love, isn't He all deserving to be worshipped? May Allah grant us the ability to ponder upon these verses and ponder upon the bounties that Allah Azza wa Jal has given to us, so that we can worship Him better. How can we worship Him better? By thinking about the things that He has given to us, thinking about the favors that He has done to us. And we would like to conclude today's episode from Drops of Tafseer, brought to you by ITV. And inshallah, we'll be meeting you in the future episodes. بإذن الله تعالى. Stay tuned with us. وآخر دعواهم الحمد لله رب العالمين.